Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hello, good morning. Okay, this is Chidiberry. Chidiberry, good morning, all. It's been a long time, it's been a while. Hope our new year is going on well. Hope so far so good, it is going on well. Yeah, okay. I'm here with a very brief message for us today. I had a leading in my spirit to talk about the need and the power of humility. You know, humility can never be overemphasized. It is a very important trait. It is a very important attribute of one's personality. Humility is virtue. Humility is very important. For the fact that God exalts the humble and resists the pride. That is to tell us how important humility is. For blessed are the meek, because meekness is another word for humility, is a synonym for humility. For God promised that the humble shall inherit the earth, that there is, an inheritance for those that are humble on earth, for those that are meek. So that is the importance of humility. Okay, first and foremost, I want to let us know what humility means, what the word humility means. I will explain it in my own terms, as simple as possible. Okay, humility is, to me, it's when despite being all that you are, despite having it all, despite lacking nothing in life, despite being high up there, no matter your status, no matter your rank, no matter your position, no matter how high your personality is, no matter how important a person you are, you feel you are, or you think you are, when you could, despite having all that, you can still have value and respect and honor. You can still be that modest. You can still be that, kind, that benevolent, that very kind person towards those that you feel that you're higher than. You can still have respect for others, especially those that have nothing, especially those that have nothing or have less than you do. You still accord them with respect. You still accord them with equal respect as you would those that you're of the same status with. You don't see them any differently. You don't discriminate. You bring yourself low to that their level to associate with them kindly, to deal with them kindly, without looking down on anyone, without discriminating, without treating them any kind of way, without making them feel lesser of themselves. You value them so much. You accord them with respect and value. That is humility. Your level of humility is tested not when you have nothing. Already, of course, when you have nothing, you're already humble. Life has already humbled you, naturally. So your humility level is not tested when you have nothing, but rather it is tested when you have it all. When you have it all, that is when your humility level is tested. Alright? When you can be willing to associate yourself with the poor, when you can be willing to treat the poor, that is people that you think or believe that you have more than, you treat them with respect. You don't look down on them. You don't talk down on them. You don't make them feel lesser of human. Of course, no human is more human than any other human. We are all the same, no matter your status. If you are high up there, trust me, is a privilege, of which doesn't mean that others who are not high up there will never get up there. They can still have the same privilege as you do. It's just a matter of time. Probably you got there before them, ahead of them. Doesn't mean they will not get there. Doesn't mean they don't have that privilege or they are deprived of that privilege. No matter where you find yourself, no matter how far you run to a place, a person who is walking will still get to that destination. It's just a matter of time. So don't treat people disrespectfully just because you feel that you have more than they do, or you are in a place higher than they are. It doesn't give you the receipt to treat them badly, to treat them any kind of way. Humility is modest. Humility is a virtue. God exalts the humble and resists the proud. The proud. A prideful person, God hates pride. Anything that God doesn't like, trust me, there is nothing good about that thing. So long as my Father in heaven detests a thing, so long as he's not pleased with a thing, so long as he doesn't like a thing or a character or an attribute, trust me, there is nothing good about it. God exalts the humble. It doesn't matter if you're already wealthy enough. He will still exalt you. He will keep exalting you. He will keep exalting you. For blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. You can be meek and still be rich. Once you're meek, once you have that quality, you are humble. It doesn't matter how many things you have already. God will add more. He will exalt you more. He will exalt you more. He will exalt you more. That is his promise. How you treat the poor, those you think that have not or have lesser than you. How you treat them matters, is what God looks at. How you treat them, how you deal with them. Those people, these are the people God call my people. Whatever you give or you do to the least of thy brethren, you have done it to me. That is what God says. Whatever you do, however you treat those that you think you're higher than, you have done that. You are doing it directly to me. You have done to me. If you disrespect them, you disrespect me. If you devalue them, you've done it to me. However you treat them, you've done to me. You treat them good, you're being good to me. That is what God says. And he's not joking about it. He's not joking about it. In 1 Peter chapter 5, 1 Peter chapter 5, right? 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 5 says, 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 5 says, for God exalts the humble. I've said that before. And resists the poor. That is to say that there is profit in humility. It doesn't matter how exalted you are already. Once you are humble, God will exalt you even more. God will increase you even more. God, pride is just like a prideful person, right? Let me give this instance. A prideful person is just like a big tree. You can imagine a very big tree, a gigantic tree, that is so big, then has a very shallow root. It is not deeply rooted in the ground. Once a heavy wind comes, it will collapse it to the ground. that without warning, suddenly it will knock it down to the ground. That is how pride works. Pride will crash you down, will collapse, it will knock you down without warning. Despite all you think you are, the way it will hit you down. It will hit you down to the lowest, oh God. You will just find yourself at your lowest level in life. From that very high up, you will find yourself on the ground. That is how pride works. There is nothing good about pride. Nothing good comes out of pride. There are some prominent people who are being blessed continually. And a lot of people will be wondering, what is their secret? Trust me, it might just be due to their meekness, due to their humility level. Because God promised, it is a promise made by God that He will exalt whoever that is humble. And it is not limited to anything or any person. No matter how wealthy you are already, He will keep exalting you. He will keep blessing you. He will keep blessing you despite what you have. So it's simply because of the act of humility that they practice. Probably they practice it all the time, and God will keep exalting them, and they will keep being blessed. They will keep being blessed. And a lot of people will be wondering, why is the rich getting richer? Some of those rich people, they are humble. Some of the rich people, they are humble. Alright? So that is what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Imagine being poor. The worst part of it is, we have a lot of poor people who are proud. Imagine you don't have anything and you are still boastful and proud. Imagine being knocked down. You're already down. Imagine when, oh God. Imagine God resisting you at that very stage of your life, at that level. You're already down. Imagine Him bringing you more down. Imagine Him bringing you more down. You just be at your, lowest of the low. How will you even be able to get back up if already you are down and God knocks you down? And God brings you down the more. What will be your fate? That is the annoying people. You even have people that have nothing and then they are still proud. Their shoulders are so high. If God resists you at that your stage, what will become of you? What will become of you if you are being resisted by God despite being poor, despite having nothing, and God brings you down the more? In fact, you will become completely finished. That is what I'm saying. Humility is not limited to the rich only. Also the poor, even if you don't have, still be humble. Humble yourself and let God exalt you. Humility is very important, but we neglect it a whole lot. It can never be overemphasized. It can never be overemphasized. It is a very important attribute. Let us emulate the teachings and exemplary life of Christ. Christ, despite being the Son of the Most High God, He brought Himself so low to mingle with sinners, to converse with the poor, and to love the unworthy. Now, how much more humans? He is the Son of God, who, to an extent, He is God. If He can bring Himself so down, if He can humble Himself as the owner of the heaven and earth, bring himself so down, so humble, so meek, so benevolent, yet upholding his authority and audacity as the Son of God. He was so meek, he was so humble. Now, for clarity's sake, let me make something clear. Let's not confuse humility with lowering down your standards for people. You don't need to lower your standards for anyone. Then that is not humility. That is not humility. That is stupidity. Humility is when still having your standards, when your standards are still so high, yet it is devoid of pride. That is humility. Still having, yet despite having high standards, I am not saying lower your standards for anybody. For clarity's sake, do not lower your standards for anything or anybody. Humility is despite having high standards, despite being high up there, you are being devoid of pride. You are not arrogant. You mingle with people at different levels. You associate with people kindly. You are kind to people. You do not discriminate anyone. You do not look down on the poor. You do not look down or discriminate people you feel you are higher than. For clarity's sake, despite being all that you are, that means despite maintaining your high standards, you are still kind. You still treat people with respect and value. You accord respect to people. That is what humility is. And Jesus Christ was so humble and benevolent, yet upholding his audacity and authority. He never lowered his standards. He was still upholding his authority as the Son of God. He was still making it clear, despite all that and audacity, but yet he was humble, he was benevolent. So let's emulate the life of Christ. Let's emulate all his teachings. Let's put them into practice. Let's follow his blueprint. Christ left a very big legacy on earth. That is why he's still being talked about. He's still being used as an example. The legacy he left in this world, it's second to nothing. Like, it has no comparison. So we are supposed to follow his blueprint. He came here to show us the right way to live. He came here to show us the right way to live. His coming here on earth wasn't for nothing. His coming here on earth, trust me, wasn't for nothing. There was a deliberate decision and concerted efforts that was made for him to come here. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't by chance. It was planned and decided in heaven before he came here. So let all that effort not be in vain. Let's continue to walk in the path he has laid out for us. He has shown us how to live. He came here to teach us how to live. And how to live is to live with love. Where there is love. In fact, love covereth the multitude of sins. Like, if there is love amongst us in this world, there will be no sin. In fact, there will be no much sin, if there will be any at all. So please let us emulate God. Let us emulate the life of Christ, the life he lived. It is worthy of emulation. It didn't just happen by chance. And as we do so, as we live in humility, may God exalt us. May we continue to be exalted in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Shalom. Shalom. Until next time. Bye.